capturing the heart of a Malayali audience is really tough. They are pretty intelligent because they come from a land of music anyway. They have a very rich culture of music, dance. So for me, to get into the Malayalam industry coming from Tamil and being able to win the hearts of theirs was something really special for me then and even now, because I really consider the Malayalam audience as pretty intelligent. They are not someone you can take for granted in terms of melodies or rhythm. So I found it actually easier because I had so much to give in terms of musicians, in terms of music, in terms of percussion, melody. And by that time, Tamil had already slotted me as this pop singer. Urvashi, Peter, I have this thing. So he has to be this. Malayalam rescued me. They made the musician out of me. Because I didn't do all that jazz and that pop and that rock to come and sing pop songs. It's just that it happened. Like I said, I never said no. That gave me a career by itself. No doubt about it. I'm thankful. But that's not the whole part of me. Malayalam gave me that. It gave me that space and said, like, who comes and says, like, I want a classical song. I could never imagine somebody after Chikapukku coming and telling me, hey, I want a classical song from you. But here they recognized it. They could feel like they had something, like I had something and they could see it in me. What I was also not ready to bring out. They said, no, you can do it. When I was doing Runway, after doing Shaba Shaba and then with Joshi sir and all, it's like, hey, why don't we do a complete classical song where, it's a morning, it's a puja song. That's how Pularil was born. And when I finally made the song and composed it, they were like, wow. But along with them, even I was like, wow. That's the opportunity given so that you can do something, because we have got so much of influences of so much. That the Malayalam audiences, the Malayalam industry, the directors gave it to me. I wouldn't have got that anywhere else but here. So I owe it to this industry.
But how come you didn't sing a lot of songs in Malayalam?
I was very scared of the fact that my accent will not fit in. There were times when they asked me, but I used to say, sir, can we get something a little more authentic? So always happened. There was so much of talent. I've worked with the younger crowd also in Malayalam. Many of them are very good. So I didn't really require to put my voice out there. And second thing is, whether it's Tamil or whether it's Malayalam, very few heroes sit on my voice. I can't think of many heroes. I can't think of a hero in Malayalam. I can chikabuk raile. So it's like, who will fit into that? So you have to be also very clear about who the hero is and not force it. I've seen people who have forced my voice just because they like my voice, but for me it never worked. It's like, no, this is either not the person to be sitting on my voice, or it's not the voice to be sitting on the person. So I understand my own limitation.
So you think Prabhudeva fits perfectly for your voices?
Every hero works with many voices. That worked. That's all. Even SPB sir's voice will work on Prabhudeva. It will work. I mean, there's no... But my timbre, I know, is a little unique, where it goes a little bit more with the younger crowd and a little bit more with... So that's one of the banes I had with Tamil music, is that I was labeled to be singing and I was labeled to do only this kind of stuff. So though when I went into Minnal and did other stuff, and I sang differently, where I sang Mugilanna, Iduvanam, Sindhum, all these, I still did not get melodic songs in Tamil. It was already decided. This is a rapper. This is the kind of stuff we want with him. So Malayalam was my lifesaver as a musician, where I could come in and actually literally do something else. and given that opportunity. Yeah.
Was it scary working on a different language? Lyrics is in a different language. People speak a different alien language. How was the working environment?
Good question, because I never thought of it. I really never thought of it. I think coming from where we come from, India, and being in advertising, sometimes we used to work on an ad in 14 languages. So one thing that came into me very clearly was like, the same melody line could be sung in Gujarati, in Assamese, in Telugu, in Kannada. And so, come on, if they are ready to take advertising, my thing was like, it's the same influence, we are talking to the same people. And there's Hindustani music, there's Carnatic music. And Hindustani and Carnatic music was, as a drummer, I was playing with fusion greats like Bala Murali Krishna, Viku Vinayagram sir, Thiruvarur Bhaktavachalam, or like L. Subramaniam. I've played with all of them. So there was a classical influence anyway. It was not like I was suddenly thrown into it and said, create a classical song. Sometimes I used to ask them also, can we just go a little easy on this? They'll say, no, we want this beat over here in this song. So it's not like I have not asked also. But the opportunity was what I'm thankful for. To look at 5 songs and say, okay, we got 5 songs in this film. Let's do it. And I love the hybrid version of songs where I can bring in musicians. Today the song lasts very less because it's synthetic. Everything is programmed. So yes, it's instantly very attractive. But as time goes, there is no dynamic in it. Like a kick drum is going the same dynamic on and on and on. So probably at that initial point of time it's there. But in reality, you don't play a kick drum like that. There's so many dynamics that you have where your hand is playing different, your right hand is playing different, your leg is going. So you're not playing like everything like, they call it 0 to 127. Everything is 127, 127, 127. No, we don't play like that.
Subtle differences.
It's like even if you just heard a dynamic in it, that dynamic can come only when you're expressing it live. If you want to program like that, you got to be a genius programmer. Not that there are no programmers, but you got to be really good at it, at understanding, okay, when you're programming, you must understand the instruments itself. You can't take a Veena sample and play it like a piano. It will sound horrible. Imagine playing a chord on a piano, on a Veena. So you have to understand, okay, Veena is this, a piano plays this, a ghatam plays it, it gives it to you. But unless and until you're a musician who has played with live musicians, it's very rare that you actually land up doing things that a human does. You make it very robotic. And yeah, it works initially. It works instantly, but longevity is the problem. Longevity comes from live music. That's why even today, you can't get anything close to a Mozart. When you listen to, it's created by live musicians, 200 men and women playing it. So I call it 200 hearts. Here it is one composer with one heart asking the robot to keep doing something. I think the universe is so angry, it says like, enough, I've got AI coming in. They'll do it for you. You can take a break. So live music is going to exist. Someone who's going to play a guitar, someone who's going to play a piano, someone who's going to play a veena. Because live music by itself is healing, learning it. When you practice over and over and over again, there's something that happens to you. That is not possible with machines. Although it can give you a certain result that you can be really like, wow. But unless and until you play the instrument, you will never know what it is.
How do you go about selecting the musicians? Like, do you have a team?
Yeah.
Do you have a regular team for?
There's nothing called a regular team, but I've played with so many people that I have a list of them, and I say a flute. I know among the flute players for that particular song who will work, or a mridangam player. I know at least so many mridangam players who will suit this song. So because we come from an era where we used to deal with musicians, we all know each other. So
Still from the old school, like your old gang, or you give
Oh no,
opportunities to
there are a lot of young guys who are. Don't ever forget there are young people who got the same maturity happening as I started out with, or like Rahman started out with. Don't ever give up. Not everybody is going that way. There are some. I've taught students. I have actively taught students who are interested in live music and jazz and stuff like that. They're very organic in their process. They want to do this. They're not. There are a lot of people who say like, no, so I don't want to get into films. I like to do this. I like to play jazz, and it's like, hey man, don't you want to earn? Don't you want a career? No, I like this. So I call it a spiritual path. There is no this way and that way. There are people who go to church every Sunday and come back, but there's somebody who splits and goes to Himalayas. Both are spiritual. You can't say which one is which, but the choice is yours. So I would say like there are young people who will still come up and will head. There will always be somebody. When we thought Ilayaraja sir was it, suddenly there happened one 26-year-old guy who just came and blew all of us. So there will be the next one. There will be the next one. We are not going to be left without someone. And the audience chooses that. The industry chooses.
Impressed you, or who you have noted like in the current crowd?
Lots
Be
of
it in
them.
Tamil or be it in Malayalam.
Lots of them, yeah. I still think Yuvan is doing a great job. Anirudh is doing a great job. Devishri Prasad, Daman, or like here Sushin. And in Hindi, you still have Shankar Eswan Loy, Preetham. No, come on, don't call them old. They're still young. So there's a lot of music that's been churned out. And yeah, there's no doubt about it. Each one is offering what the best of what they have. And even the new singers, like I'm a big fan of Arijit Singh. We never knew that there was somebody going to be like that after like listening to Kishore Kumar and Sonu Nigam, and suddenly here comes one kid out of the blue and like he just stole my heart. And I go back to him for go-to in terms of like, listening to him, hearing his. So there will always be someone new, and change is the only constant, they say. So that will be the next one. Let's wait and see.